So the SIM Alliance is the gathering of 13 members of the SIM industry. And when we gather together, it's mainly to make sure that we provide technical specification, suite of test suites, and white papers, videos, so that indeed operators can manipulate and deploy services in a secured manner using secure elements, whether they would be SIMs, embedded secure elements, or micro SD. So for whatever applications, if there is a need for security, identity, or mobility, they would find in the SIM Alliance and on our website all the documents necessary to deploy their services. Well, today clearly mobile network operators are waking up to that new phenomena. They are way more active in the M2M space because they do see indeed that they have the capability of ensuring the security. And at the same time, you have the M2M players seeing with the news that security is very important. Some examples, in Europe, there are some privacy concerns. You could very well understand and know what an individual is doing in his house, just monitoring the power consumptions. You also have the risk for automotive, for instance, for people driving cars. If the car is connected to a network, if somebody is hacking the car, would they be able to take over the driving system? But these are the questions that indeed pop up in the news. Well, for sure, the SIM, being the authentication token and the security token of mobile network operators, of course has a role to play. There are several specs and applications for the SIM into the automotive industry or the M2M space. In cars, for instance, it has a role to play in ensuring the multimedia connection for people in the car to access the videos or the internet, but also for the maintenance of the car, where connectivity is necessary, for instance, to prevent or to do preventive maintenance for the car, so that the users know exactly when they should go for a maintenance slot. All this information, the security of those information has to be managed by the SIM, operators providing the connectivity, and in the future managing the security and the SLAs for those M2M customers. So on these cross-border issues really focus on two topics. One is indeed interoperability. So we have to make sure that devices are going to work whatever the country they're in, and also the security and the roaming conditions. For instance, roaming, a lot of the roaming information and control done by mobile network operators relates and relies on the SIM. There are lots of information related to that based in the SIM that operators do update when you're crossing the border, and they would tell you by downloading the right operator, on which operator you need to connect when you're abroad. When they do that, they need to do that in proper time, in proper timing, with a lot of security, and according to their roaming agreements. So here again, the SIM plays a role. In terms of interoperability, one of the things that we are looking at, which is not really related to M2M but also to consumer, is when end users will be crossing the borders, if they want to pay, for instance, to get in the London Underground, it's going to be unfortunately a different payment scheme than the one in France, in Paris, for instance. So if they need to do that, we need to make sure that when we'll be downloading a payment scheme for Paris Underground or a London Underground on whatever card, or SIM card, NFC SIM card, it has to be interoperable. And this is typically what we are doing with the stepping stones documents and specification that the SIM Alliance has provided in order to ensure that whatever applications running on an NFC SIM is going to be interoperable on whatever SIM card. Well, typically we see many more participants this year than in the previous year. There is clearly a lot of buzz on security, identity, and mobility in the business. Verticals such as M2M, mobile internet are extremely active. The SIM is coming into LTE, the SIM and the secure element is coming to NFC. The SIM is coming into the mobile internet. ID is necessary to sign documents, and the regulators are looking into this. So there is so much at stake, especially for mobile network operators being somehow attacked by device manufacturers on both the applications but also on the connectivity side, that I'm not surprised we have so many participants. And looking at the debates this morning, they've been quite active already, and I guess during the next 2 days they will still be very active. You're welcome. Thank you.